the most persecuted group in the United States of America are straight, white, Christian men.
This is Nick Adams. Now, if you haven't heard of this guy, you could be forgiven for that. He is pretty high up in political circles, though. He knows Donald Trump and Roger Stone and a bunch of other people. He is a far-right nutterbutter, and it's really hard to tell if he's a parody or if he's real or what. So I'm going to establish for you today that this guy is 100% real. And we're going to talk about some of his beliefs and why it's so difficult to tell if he's real or not. Let's watch the whole clip here. Get an idea for some of the things that he believes. Again, he's real. He's not a parody. Keep that in mind as we listen. Early October 2022.
Talking about how, unfortunately, today it's more important to be a minority than it is to be a qualified person. We're going to be delivering truth bombs. How the most persecuted group in the United States of America are straight, white, Christian men. That's the reality. We're going to be talking about the need for men to be men and women to be women. Now, I know that there'll be a few protesters. I'm sure BLM, thugs, and Antifa would like to show up. I've heard rumors that they're planning on doing so already.
I bet. This dude is so persecuted, isn't he? Poor fella. By the way, he calls himself an alpha male. This is the peak of, what would you even call this? The peak of manliness. The peak of masculinity, put it that way. In his mind, at the very least. I don't know about anybody else's mind. A little while back, this is my introduction to the guy. There was a protest against M&ms because they had, I think, they changed like the design for the female M&ms. Like the brown one got sneakers instead of high-heeled shoes or something, right? And Tucker Carlson just lost his mind over this. So naturally, Nick Adams picked this up and ran with it. Shortly after that, I think M&M's released an all-women M&M's package. I think it had just like all purple and pink M&M's or something like that. I don't even know like what the point was. They were obviously just trying to capitalize off of the right-wing hate machine, which, hey, more power to them as far as I'm concerned. But Nick Adams responded to this all-women M&M's thing. This is Nick Adams taking part in a major protest. In his mind, at the very least, a major protest. This is him in front of the M&M's store mid-January 2023 on Broadway. This is like in Times Square. Like this is, where I live is New York City. So it was crazy to see him here. Watch what he said here.
G'day guys, Nick Adams here. I want to speak about M&Ms. I want to speak about Mars, the company behind M&Ms. M&Ms have just released feminist M&Ms. Yes, you heard me right. Feminist M&Ms.
I think it was just all women M&Ms. They were just releasing one color or maybe two colors of the candies. Like, get over yourself, bro.
Egregious sexism of the worst and most conceivable kind. It is outrageous. It is disgusting, and it must not stand. That is why I am calling for a complete and total boycott of all things Mars, and particularly M&Ms. It will not stand. Let me say this loudly. Let me say this clearly. Let me say this unambiguously. Any male that buys a packet of M&Ms from today forward must hand in their man card, because they are a soft, woke, beta, male feminist.
A soft, woke something, male feminist, hand in the man card? Like, this is absurd, dude.
Who has serious problems.
Serious problems. We have serious problems. Not Nick, but us, okay?
Until M&Ms rectify this grave wrong by giving us all male M&Ms, this boycott will remain. We will not stand for this at all. M&Ms?
Just absurd on every level, dude. Oh my God, this guy. I'm telling you, man, it's indistinguishable from a parody. Indistinguishable. like I told you, I'm going to establish that he is, in fact, not a parody account, and he does believe this stuff in a minute. But listen to what happened after M&ms came out and apologized and said, you know what, we're not releasing the all-women ones. We're getting rid of our spokes candies. We're just going to have one spokesperson, which is somebody from, I forget the actress's name now, somebody from Idiocracy. So this is his response to the fact that they're getting rid of their spokes candies.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Adams here, your favorite Twitter account on the planet.
That's debatable.
Well, by now I'm sure that you've heard the fantastic news, which is that M&ms and Mars are taking an indefinite pause on their spokes candies. And that, ladies and gentlemen, you can attribute directly to me.
Okay, wow, he's got an ego on him. I don't know why anybody cared about this in the first place, honestly.
You are welcome. We took a strong stand and we got this as a result. But for anybody that is under the illusion that somehow this ends our boycott, or that this egregious sexism displayed by Mars and M&ms can just be quickly brushed under the carpet, has got another thing coming.
Egregious sexism, he says. Because they recognize systemic inequality between men and women, and they want to raise women up to be more equal with men, at least more equal than they are right now. That's egregious sexism.
This boycott remains in place. This boycott will not end until reparations are paid to men everywhere.
See, this is one of the reasons. We haven't even gotten to the worst of this video yet. This is one of the reasons why people think he's a parody, because he's so ridiculous on every level. Reparations, okay? M&ms has to pay reparations to men. Go on.
And these are our demands. Number one, we want an all-male packet of M&ms.
Okay, so he's complaining that M&ms had a female packet of M&ms, and in his mind, that was sexist, right? It wasn't, but in his mind, it was, right? And so he wants to counter that sexism with more sexism. I mean, really think about the logic behind it. This is like the Flashpoint guys, you know, Kenneth Copeland's TV show, Flashpoint, with Gene Bailey, Hank Kunneman, and all the others. This is like these guys coming in and saying, Hitler used to say that you have to brainwash children as early as humanly possible because that'll guarantee that they'll be soldiers for you, right? And that's what the left is doing, so we have to do it too to prevent the left from succeeding. Now, the left isn't doing that, of course, but hypothetically speaking, if they were, you really think that you doing it is a solution to the problem? You're complaining about the idea that they're doing this. How can you not see the hypocrisy and the ridiculousness of your actions and thoughts and ideas here? Really? So this guy wants to counter sexism with more sexism, apparently, okay?
2, we want an apology directed specifically to men. Until that time, not one M&M will pass our lips. We are serious about this. We are determined on this. The egregious sexism and outrageous feminism of Mars and M&ms have no place in modern America, and we are going to make them feel it. Until then, we'll probably just stay with Skittles.
Okay, so this is why everyone thinks it's a parody. For the record, Skittles are also an M&M's product. They're owned by the same company, Mars. So, sure, go ahead, I guess. Buy Skittles instead, whatever. Like, also, in addition to the fact that he wants reparations in the form of sexism, right? In his mind, he wants more sexism by getting an all-male bag of M&Ms. In addition to that fact, he's also engaging in cancel culture in his mind. Again, this isn't cancel culture. This is accountability. I mean, this isn't even accountability, but if we're flipping the situation around and looking at it from a different perspective, this would be accountability, not cancel culture. But is he not engaging in what he calls cancel culture? Isn't this an example of him doing exactly what he complains about constantly? He's so ridiculous, he must be a parody, right? Let's talk about it. Quick reminder, don't forget to check out my website, owenmorgan.com. I would appreciate that very much. Just go to my website. When you go there, a little pop-up appears, says, subscribe to my email list right here. Just give me your name, it's optional, and give me your email address, and you will get access to early, complete, some ad-free videos every single week. You can also check out the website itself for some of this stuff, like if you want access to ad-free videos or whatever, and it's, it's an aggregator, so you can look at all of my main channel's videos. March 5th, the week of March 5th, it lists every video released for that week that's up here so far. So go to my website, sign up for my newsletter, and access early stuff that's ad-free. Pretty useful. As it turns out, this guy was a politician in Australia before moving to the United States, and his policies pretty closely reflected what he believes right now. Okay, here you go. Political career. Adams was elected to the municipality of Ashfield Council in 2004 on the Liberal Party's ticket. The Liberal Party, by the by, in Australia is the center-right political party in Australia, not the left. In the United States, liberal kind of means left. Not in Australia, not the same. So, yeah, he was on a center-right ticket. At age 21, he was elected as deputy mayor. He was elected under a loophole which allowed Adams as a non-resident to run for elections. In 2005, as deputy mayor, Adams put forward a motion to ban pigeons from the municipality of Ashfield due to fears of bird flu. Banned pigeons, but failed to explain how his plan would be implemented. Seriously. I don't even know, I don't like insulting people from a public platform. I don't know what to say about him. This is just ridiculous, right? How does it get more ridiculous? I thought that only America was turning these people out. I guess it's possible that maybe America just attracts them like a moth to a bug light. It's just insane. On every level, it's insane. Ban pigeons. He was criticized for often missing council meetings because he was traveling the American speaking circuit as a motivational speaker. In October 2006, Adams was formally condemned by fellow councilors after racking up thousands of dollars worth of phone calls and cab charges for personal benefit. So corruption, just blatant, bald-faced stealing money from the taxpayers, I guess. In a soft sense, I guess, not a hard sense. As a member of Ashfield Council, Adams denounced multiculturalism, saying it creates groups and pockets of people that, of course, then feel that there are certain elements of superiority and inferiority, and I think we need to be united. That's the point of multiculturalism, you poor fool. So that's Nick Adams. I hope that establishes that he's not actually a parody account. He's been doing this for decades. Since 2003, he was in political office on a center-right ticket as like a council member or deputy mayor, banning pigeons from the town all the way back then. He is not a parody. As if you thought it couldn't get more ridiculous with this guy, right? There's more. He released this on his Twitter account recently, March 3rd, 2023. Listen to what he had to say. This is him at some event speaking, telling a story.
I was on a first-class cabin on a flight going from Dallas to Los Angeles. And I was actually traveling with my mother. And I had a guy, she was on one aisle seat and I was opposite on the aisle seat. And there's a couple that came in, a young man who was about my age, maybe mid-30s at the time. And he came in with his girlfriend or female partner. And he came and sat down, and by this time I'd already set up with my laptop and everything. I was ready, my chargers, my earphones. And he said, look, do you mind swapping with me? He said, I'd like to sit with my fiancée. She's in the second row on the window. And I said, look, I said, I'm all set up right now. I said, once we get up in the air, I said to him, I'll consider it.
No, he was not going to consider this. Okay, this is kind of a long story, but I'm down. Let's keep listening.
And he said, okay. Anyway, waits about 5 minutes. We still haven't taken off. And he says, dude, what if I give you $100?
So dude wants to sit with his fiance, right? And Nick Adams here took his seat. Or he took the seat next to the fiance, near her. Totally reasonable if Nick Adams didn't want to move, right? Totally reasonable to move, though. I probably would have moved if I didn't have somebody I was sitting next to.
And I said, I don't want your money, I said to him. And he said,
I'm taking your woman. That's what's happening.
I really...
Wrong story.
Oh, my bad.
I really want to sit with my fiance,
Yeah.
he said to me. And anyway, and I said, no. Anyway, then 5 minutes later, he comes back, he says, how about $500? And I said, dude, I'm not moving.
Okay, that's a super romantic gesture, right? Oh, my God. Telling your fiance or whatever that you just paid $500 to sit next to them, that is a really, really big gesture to a wife or a girlfriend or whatever. It shows how much you care. Now, I feel like that's kind of a waste of money. It is only 2 hours. Just stick it out. But it's nice, right? I mean, it's really nice. It makes your fiance feel wanted and appreciated to do something like that.
I'm not moving, and I don't want your money, but I've got to ask you. I said to him, when I have been in a long-term relationship, I couldn't wait to have 2 hours spare time on a flight. This is a quick flight, right? Dallas to LA. I couldn't wait to have a bit of time to myself.
Does he not have any time to himself when he's with somebody? I have time to myself all the time. I just do whatever. Like, what does he mean? I sit at my computer and I do my work or I play my game or whatever, and my wife sits back there and does her work or plays her game or whatever. You don't constantly have to, like, interact with each other. Is he under the misapprehension that you constantly have to engage with this person that you're in the same room with? What does he even mean by this? Does he just mean he doesn't want to be in her physical presence most of the time? What's he talking about?
Right, Dallas to LA. I couldn't wait to have a bit of time to myself, away from my girlfriend or what. I mean, that's normal. And this guy looks at me like I'm an alien. He says, well, dude, it's not like that for me. I like being with my woman all of the time. And I said, okay, you do you. I mean, to me, that is... there's no words. I mean, to me, that's very odd to feel this necessity to be around a girl.
It's not a necessity. It's a desire to be around your wife or your girlfriend. Why is this so bizarre to the guy that he can't, like, connect with the idea of just liking the company of somebody? Has he never had a friend before? Does he not know what it's like to, like, just be around a pal that you like doing things with? Really? How is that, like, is he married? He claims to be an alpha male. Has he ever been with a woman before? In any capacity? I'm starting to wonder. He seems to be taking this as some kind of a, like, virtuous position. Like, it's virtuous to just want to be alone, like an incel, never be around another woman, or I'm sorry, never be around a woman. I guess he's not a woman. Like, you never want to be around a woman. What a weird position, right?
I mean, I can't understand it.
He can't understand it. He doesn't know what it's like, apparently. This is just bizarre, dude. It's bizarre to me that he doesn't know what it's like to just have a friend that you can hang around. And it's weird also that he doesn't know that you don't have to constantly engage with somebody that you're in the physical proximity of, right? Can't you just be in the same space together and do your own thing? Does this guy not understand relationships at all? I feel I've established pretty firmly that this is not a parody. He is 100% real. I'm taking every word out of his mouth as real moving forward. After finding out that the dude tried to ban pigeons from his municipality, I'm taking him at face value now, no matter how ridiculous the thing is that he just said. I'm very confident that this guy is 100% real. This is just bizarre, though. How can somebody like this exist? I just don't get it. Let me know what you think in the comments.